I'm Mona Santana. This is my daily gratitude list where I list and talk about 5 things I'm grateful for that hopefully you can relate to as well. Number 1, clocks. I'm grateful for clocks. I think everybody can agree that the fact that we can time things and decide that we're going to meet somewhere at a particular time as well is pretty handy. I mean, what would we do without clocks? That's crazy to think about. We just really wouldn't be able to live the way that we do. It's just, it's impossible. It's like, oh, this thing is going to happen at 3 o'clock. Okay, so everybody's there at 3 o'clock. Or, this cake is going to take an hour to bake. So, how would you be able to figure that out? It's just a whole bunch of things that we use clocks for. It's just everything, actually, just like pretty much all of the things. So, how it's almost impossible to talk about how do we live our lives without clocks, Like, God, that was just, it's impossible. Time is basically, it's good to be able to measure time, and everybody having a clock, and, it's pretty necessary, and it's kind of a funny thing to think about, isn't it? Yes, I'm grateful for clocks. Being able to tell time, measure time, for a bazillion reasons. It's just so crazy. Think about that throughout your day. What is it like to not have a clock? Imagine, you're saying, oh, I'll meet you in 10 minutes. Well, really though? Because, what's 10 minutes if you don't have a clock? You don't know. I swear, sometimes I feel like I come up with the most weird things to be grateful for, but I am grateful for clocks because it's very true that if we didn't have them, we would be so screwed. My God. Like, how would we even do anything? So anyway, just go throughout the day and see if you can think about like what ways that you use your clock, and be grateful. Because people didn't always have the capacity to measure time, which is bananas, but it's true. Anyway, number 2, I'm grateful for my voice, for having a voice. And I don't mean just, the way I talk right now, but like actually being able to speak my voice and being able to say all of these things that I say. I am grateful that I can sit here and be grateful with my voice and actually have an outlet, or not an outlet, a platform to talk. But also, the sound of one's voice. I like very much that everyone has a different voice in terms of opinion and point of view, but also an actual voice and the sound of your voice, Singing, for instance, you just know there are certain singers who have very distinctive voices. The first one who pops into my mind is Leonard Cohen, for obvious reasons. If you're not familiar, well, Google it because it's easy to do. Having a voice is actually a very important thing to be able to use to communicate as well. Also for singing and for speaking just in public, or to your family or to your friends or to going out, just anything. A voice is very, it's a great thing to be able to have, and to also to practice on how to use it so that you can use it to your advantage. I'm not so sure I'm doing a really good job of that right now, but trust me, it's a good thing. So a voice is a really good thing to have. I suppose animals have voices, but I don't think they communicate in the way that we do. A voice, I guess I also mean it's a form of communication. It's a way in which we communicate. So I am grateful for having a voice. Number 3, I am grateful for elevators, lifts. Depends on where you are. In the UK they say lifts, but I'm American, so I say elevator. So I am grateful for elevators. I used to live in a building where I was on the 10th floor, and I took an elevator every single day. And then I remember there was a time where I was coming home and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had just done a gig where my entire body was painted gold and I was covered in gold glitter. It was pretty crazy. And I was carrying suitcases, and so it was so crazy. And I got home and it was after 2 in the morning and I'm waiting for an elevator and I was beyond exhausted. It was like I was practically crawling to take a shower to get all this makeup off, and it was just one of those nights where nothing went according to plan, because when I got there, both of the elevators were broken and there was no way of fixing them at that hour. And so I had no choice but to carry my suitcases with my gold makeup and glitter up 10 flights of stairs. It was, I made it, but holy moly, did that take every ounce of the rest of the energy that I had at that moment. And I couldn't help but think, wow, imagine if we didn't have elevators and I'd have to walk up 10 flights all the time. I mean, granted, I'd be really in shape, but I don't think that it's exactly a good thing, because then you just, I mean, like, how would you even get your furniture up there when you're moving in or moving out? I mean, it's so weird when you think about it, because there didn't used to be elevators and there were tall buildings and people just walked up flights all the time. I mean, and I know this because I used to tour in Italy, and oftentimes we would be in these really cool hotels that were pretty old, really cool nonetheless, but we had our suitcases and they're like, oh yeah, you're on the 6th floor. And we're like, okay. So like we're done with a gig and we're carrying all our gear up 6 flights of stairs. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, it's a fun memory to have, so I like that. But I think in the long run, I really appreciate having elevators. So whoever invented them, thank you. Highly appreciated, I must say. Number 4, I'm grateful for school. I think it's completely necessary to have an educational system for everyone. And the fact that we all are able to go to public school or private school if you choose, whatever, I think it's pretty fantastic, because it didn't used to be that way. So a lot of people weren't able to read or, do maths or whatever, and all of the other things that you learn in school. And so now every kid has to go to school, and so people are more educated so that we're able to have better lives, because the more educated you are and the more you know about things, not necessarily even through school, but just generally, if you know things, like the more educated you are about things, the better life you're going to have. That's usually the case anyway. And plus I like to know junk, so, I like school. I like learning, and school, I think, is a great thing that we came up with as a community. So number 5, I am grateful for garlic. I love garlic. I love the smell of garlic. I love garlic in food. Actually, growing up, my mom used to make garlic soup. Like I think I've mentioned before, my family's from Spain, and that's just kind of a staple food there for poor people, basically. But I think it's like anybody should eat it. It is so good. And it's just, mostly a garlic-based soup. It's like poached garlic. It's so good. Anyway, I love it. And I love garlic. I love it raw. I love it cooked, poached. I love anything. And it's just fantastic. And it's medicinal qualities also. And then, of course, the history of garlic. And, it's really very interesting. There are restaurants dedicated to just garlic. It's just a thing that has definitely improved our food, because it's used in so many recipes. And I also really like how it's a pretty unique, is it a vegetable? What is it? I don't really know. It's like the little cloves, and it's got this like papery thing. It's almost, it's sort of oniony, but it's not an onion at all. It's just cute. It's interesting. I like garlic. Think about it. Why not? Oftentimes you eat garlic and you don't even realize it, but pay attention. It's a wonderful thing that we have in our life. Just garlic. It's so simple. It's so simple, but it's such a great thing. If you don't like it, then sorry. This isn't the gratitude list for you. Choose a different thing if you don't like garlic. But actually, not necessarily, because you could also appreciate garlic even if you don't like the flavor or the smell of it or whatever, which I think is really bizarre. If you don't like the smell of garlic, let me know, because I can't imagine. Anyway, so I think that concludes my list for today, and thank you for letting me go off on a tangent like usual. I enjoy making these videos and practicing gratitude every day. And I'm hoping that it's helping some people, you know, have a more uplifted day. And I hope it also makes you start to see things a little bit more with Pollyanna glasses, because it's a good thing, you know. It's so easy to just think about all of the things that are difficult in life and complain, and you know, that's easy, you know, it's just easy. But practicing gratitude, I think, is sort of a, you know, akin to exercising your body. Just, you have to exercise your mind, and the more you do, the more you just default to seeing things in this perspective, which is more mindful ultimately. So anyway, I hope that you continue to join me, and I want to thank you very much for subscribing and liking this video if you're doing that, or if you have done that. And I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.